You ready?
Just confirming it. Good to go.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have Pastor Michelle. Come on up.
Okay, am I on? Okay, good. I'm on this time. Let's pray. Prayer for unity. Heavenly Father, God of peace, we invite you to preside over the city council meeting tonight. Even if we have different opinions, give us a unity of spirit. Help us each to listen politely as others share their points of view. Help us to work as a unified team and combining ideas for a great outcome. Help us to work as a whole rather than as individuals trying to promote their own agendas. May we have the spirit of camaraderie in our city to work together on our shared mission. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bildering.
Here.
Councilmember Klink.
Oops, here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy. Present. Mayor Mintz.
Here.
All present.
Okay, thank you. We have no closed session announcements. Do you have any changes to the agenda? None? Okay, announcements. These proceedings will be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going to our website and clicking on meeting agendas link, and that's what's going on right now. So, okay, awards, presentation, appointments, and proclamations. So we have a proclamation, for the this is a proclamation for Hunger Action Month. That's what the orange lights are for, kind of symbolizing the hunger. And if the CEO, Debbie Espinoza, and Matthew Williams, the Director of Development, meet me at the podium, I'll do our proclamation. Oh, I think you're okay right there. Oh. I think you're okay right there. Okay. So whereas hunger and poverty is an issue of vital concern in California, where 20% of the people face hunger and 1 in 5 children do not know where their next meal will come from. And whereas the City of 29 Palms of California is committed to taking steps to combat hunger in every part of our community and to provide additional resources that those in 29 Palms need. And whereas more than 150,000 individuals on average in the eastern Riverside and southern San Bernardino counties of Fine Services area rely on food provided by the members of the Fine Food Bank each month. Also, over 7,000 individuals on average each month in the high desert utilize the community mobile market Fine Food Bank provides twice monthly. And whereas the coronavirus pandemic has devastated health and economic impacts across the country, it is projected that over 110,000 more people could face hunger in eastern Riverside and southern San Bernardino counties in the wake of the pandemic this year. Whereas the month of September has been designated Hunger Action Month in order to bring attention to food insecurities in our communities and engage the public in action, including volunteerships, social media shares, and donations to ensure nobody has to make an impossible choice between food and other necessities like medicine, utilities, or health care. And now, therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of the City of 29 Palms does hereby recognize September 2021 as Hunger Action Month and calls the observance of the attention to our citizens, dated today, 14th of September. So there you go. Thank you very much, and you can come right up to the podium and say a few words.
Mayor, City Council members, City of 29 Palms residents, I just want to say on behalf of all of the food insecure people, not just in Riverside and South San Bernardino counties, but specifically to your community, I want to thank you for recognizing the need to address this crisis, this situation. In the United States, we have so much abundance, and for anybody to wonder where their next meal is coming from is absolutely not acceptable. It takes communities like yours, food banks like ours, all of our residents, all of our businesses to be able to support those that need help. And I'm so glad that your city is doing that by showing their awareness of it, by doing something about it, by answering the call to action, by lighting up specific areas of your city so people know what's going on. And we want to thank you for that. We will continue to do our best to serve your community as best as we possibly can for however long it takes to end hunger. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Can't breathe in these things when we're talking. Okay, we also want to recognize September 2021 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and also recognize September 17th to the 23rd of 2021 as Constitution Week. Okay, council comments and reports and meetings attended. Joel?
Thank you, Mayor. No report on any meetings that I have attended this month so far. I have one on Friday for Mountain Desert Measure I Committee meeting. I do want to wish everybody in the city of 29 Palms a happy birthday, celebrating in September, and also in the Morongo Basin. And school is in. Watch out for those kids. Make sure you stop at those school buses with school signs on it. It does mean stop. It's not an ornament on the school bus. It does mean stop. And also be aware when you're driving through school zones, they are around waiting for someone to go speeding through at 50 miles an hour. Your fault, you're going to get it. But do remember to go 25 miles an hour while you're in the school zone. So thank you very much, and have a great fall, because it's almost that time of the year.
The ones that are going to get cooler. That's the one.
Well, maybe September 20th.
Stephen?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's say happy birthday to my son. He turned 21 earlier this month, and I got to celebrate with him as an adult this last weekend, so that was kind of crazy. We made it back safe from Vegas. I attended the VHR meeting, the committee meeting that we had. A lot of positive dialogue in that meeting, and very positive things that come out of this. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mac?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do want to wish my wife a happy anniversary, 36 years, and I have a son that was born on our anniversary, so happy birthday to him, and then another son is going to be having a birthday on the 27th, so happy birthday to all of them. And I did attend a town hall meeting with Congressman Obernolte, and you know, he gave some good information and things like that, and assured us that he's, you know, up there working for us, which is great. So we just gotta, you know, make sure we continue to give him the information that he needs so that he can, you know, fight for the things that we need in the community. So that was a good event, well attended, I thought, and they had some good questions for him. So and that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No? Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, hi, good evening. First and foremost, I need to say happy anniversary to my husband, 40 years. And it's been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to 40 more. Also to my son, whose birthday is this month, and my grandson. So happy birthday to them as well. And as far as meetings that I attended the town hall meeting as well with Congressman Obernolte, and he is such a servant. He wants to serve this population, and he wants to represent well this district. So if you did not meet him, if you want to reach out to him, just contact City Hall, and we can get you linked up with them. But he is truly a public servant. And that's it.
Oh, thank you. I also attended the town hall meeting with the congressman, just to relay a little bit of that. Yes, he did say him or staff will answer all correspondence, either email or by phone call. So if you do have any concerns, he said especially the veterans, if you're having problems with any kind of veteran problems, he has a direct link. One of his staff members he referred to as a bulldog when it comes to that. So please, if you do have a problem, just reach out to his office, and he said he will help with, and he even said with passports and other things like that, that his office is there to help, and his staff will will do everything they can to get your problem solved. Also went to the, we had the subcommittee meeting, went really well last Friday, and then we have another one this Friday, so we'll just keep going on that. Okay?
Danny, Mayor,
Yes.
can I just add one thing? I also went to that, that town hall with Congressman Obernolte, and the thing that really caught my attention was the budget, or the debt that the country has right now. He said that if we were to each person living, this includes babies that are being born, people living to 100, each one of us right now would have to pay $85,000 each in order to get that debt down. So it's just it's just getting out of control, and I hope that they're working on it up there in Washington D.C. I don't know if they really are, if we're that high already, but I remember when it was way back when we were like at 40,000 each. Now it's doubled, and it's concerning to me. We here have a very small budget, and we have to make sure that we don't go into debt. We want to make sure that we have a budget every year, but they're going crazy. But that's something to think about.
Okay, thank you. Okay, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar to be considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the city council action. Do we have anybody who wants to pull any items from the consent calendar? Seeing none. Anybody in the audience like to have any of the consent calendar items pulled from the consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council. Looking for a motion.
I'll move this consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? None? Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Klink,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Bildering,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy,
Aye.
Mayor Mintz.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Thank you. We had no items removed. There is no public hearings. So discussion of potential action items. Online sales tax equity resolution at the annual conference.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The item in front of you this evening is the recommendation to approve the resolution and direct the cities, Cal Cities, which was formerly the League of California Cities, they've rebranded themselves, voting delegate, which I believe is Councilmember Klink, to support the resolution at the annual conference, Cal Cities Conference in Sacramento on September 22nd through the 24th, and authorize the city manager to send a letter to Cal Cities General Resolution Committee indicating the city's support for the resolution. So just by way of background, as the council is aware and for public's knowledge, the city has sales tax of 7 3/4. The city itself only gets 1% of that sales tax. It's affectionately called Bradley Burns. That 1%, Bradley Burns, comes to the city, the rest goes to the state of California. A big portion of that, as we all do, shop online, very specifically Amazon. And right now, Amazon, or prior to, Amazon had a corporate structure where their fulfillment centers were not owned by Amazon. They were owned by a third party. And so most recently, Amazon's fulfillment center, they had a corporate restructure, and now they are wholly owned by Amazon. That change in their corporate structure has triggered laws in California to reallocate sales tax. So it's created winners and losers in the state. So 90% of the cities are losers, including 29 Palms. 10% of the cities are winners. The winners are those who have fulfillment centers in their cities. So cities that, regionally anyway, Redlands, San Bernardino, Moreno Valley, those cities have a windfall. So Rancho Cucamonga has taken the initiative for the league to pass this resolution, for the league to work on an equitable, fair allocation of these sales tax dollars. We too have trucks that come into our community. We too have people consuming through Amazon. So we should get our fair share of sales tax. The way it used to be done, just by way of example, it used to go into a pool. So all the monies that were spent on Amazon, just by way of example, if the total in the county in sales tax was, $10,000 by way of example, and the city had 1,000 of that, we would get 10% of that pool. So all the Amazon sales, we would get 10% of that pool in that analogy. Now it's only if you have a fulfillment center. So it's a big change and it's a big impact. So the resolution is just to recommend to our delegate to vote for it at the league, and then I'll send a letter showing our support. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none. Okay. Anybody other discussion? No? Okay. Anybody have any questions before we go to a vote? Nope. Okay. Okay, we need a motion if we want to carry on with this.
Make a motion that the city, that we take action A and B.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Buildering,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy,
Aye.
Mayor Mintz.
All right,
Approved 5-0.
thank you. Tourism Business Improvement District.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. While this is loading, I'll do a brief introduction to this topic. I'll ask Brianne to come up, our T-Bid Marketing Director, to make some comments. Then also to the council, we do have members of the advisory board. We have Rakesh as our chair, along with Maria, I think Heidi, and I think that's it. Is Ash there anywhere? No. So if the council has any questions, there are members of the advisory committee here. So the recommendation in front of you this evening is adopt the resolution confirming the intent to levy an assessment for the fiscal year 21-22 and approve the annual report, marketing plan, and budget. So those are the two actions in front of you. There are 3 steps in this annual process of renewing the T-bid. The first step in the process, which has already been complete, the advisory board has developed and approved a marketing plan and budget, which is in front of you also to approve this evening. They have approved that. Also today, second step in the process, not only to approve the budget, is to approve the resolution of intent to levy. Assuming that that gets approved, within 7 days, the city will be mailing the intention to levy to all the those who pay into the T-bid. So to let them know, September 28th is the last step in the process, which will be the public hearing for the protest vote of authorizing the intent to levy, or the processing the levy. So those are just some of the background of the steps that we have taken. I'm going to turn it over to Brianne right now to give you just some information regarding the T-bid.
Thank you for having us here this evening. It's my pleasure to be here to share with you the T-Bid's annual report, to update you on our progress, share with you our year-to-date results, and of course also discuss our marketing plan and budget for next year. So just a moment here to kind of get set up, please. Oops, oh no. Just going to open the 2 different documents here. We'll have a quick review, as I said, of our annual reports. And then I'll take you through the highlights of
Dan, can you speak in the
the
mic,
plan
please?
and budget. Absolutely. All right. Modifier view here. Okay. Okay, so as I said, we're here to share with you our annual report. We'll start with, as always, a quick overview, especially for those who are not familiar with our TBID in terms of when and how we were formed. So our organization was established in October 2017. It's created through a public-private partnership between the local city government and the lodging operators and owners here in our city. We are funded entirely through a 1.5% tourism tax that's applied to all of the room rates at hotels, motels, RV resorts, and vacation rentals here in the city. I work with a 5-member advisory board. Thank you for being here, many of you. So our advisory board oversees the development and implementation of our annual tourism plan and budget and provides strategic guidance and direction to TBID staff. Also, just to note, our tourism organization does oversee and manage the 29 Palms City Visitor Center as well. So just a quick overview in terms of what our district is made up of. We have over 600 hotel rooms, over 150 RV spaces, and 180 active vacation rentals. You'll see there, again, our advisory board members, as well as TBID staff and our visitor center staff. So as we look back on the year, there's certainly no question that the pandemic continues to have a very profound impact on our world, including where and how and why we travel. Over this past year, we've seen travel restrictions, border closures, regional stay-at-home orders continue. That has obviously created sharp declines in travel and tourism. We commend all of our local hospitality members, our community, for their ongoing efforts of supporting safe and responsible travel to our city. We have over 60 businesses that are current county COVID-compliant business partners, which is great. Our year began back in October, at which time we had a very cautious but some growing optimism towards the year ahead. What has emerged in these last, year and a half as this pandemic has continued are a lot of new trends, including in leisure travel, very much centered around road trips, visiting national parks, and a new sort of surge of interest in spending time in small rural communities such as ours. Reflecting these trends, visitation to Joshua Tree National Park has continued to surge. It was the most visited national park in California in 2020. And the 10th most visited national park in the U.S. Despite the disruptions of border closures, travel bans, and some of the things I've mentioned, our TBID is on track to have a record-breaking year. You'll hear more about our revenue results as we go on through this report, but just kind of quickly to say we anticipate our tax revenue will exceed $250,000 this year. And we are now 3 quarters in, and so we can see we are tracking 60% above last year already, which is very encouraging. So we've been hard at work over this last year, resuming, relaunching, introducing new marketing programs, again, supporting the safe reopening of our businesses here. We, as I said, continue to manage the city visitor center. And so without further ado, we'll carry on here. So just a quick look at, oh, I'm sorry, is it too, I've gone that way, yeah. Sorry guys. We'll look at our key strategic goals. Of course, we are here to build awareness and interest for 29 Palms as a travel destination, and in doing so to drive overnight room demand. Some of the other goals for this current year is to really strengthen our in-state drive markets and to work on growing out-of-state drive markets as well. So we do that, we tackle these goals by identifying kind of key destination pillars, kind of themes, and so we work towards these 5 destination pillars and create engaging and creative marketing programs that fit within these themes. And we do that through a variety of different marketing programs, which you'll hear me talk about in a bit greater detail. So we'll start with our website. Our site continues to be our tourism site, which is visit29.org, for those of you perhaps not familiar. Continues to be our most important marketing asset. We put a lot of energy into maintaining that, expanding, growing. So you'll hear me get into our performance results in a second. I just wanted to quickly highlight a new feature that we added to our site this year, which is a live chat. And it's very cool. It allows us to connect a site user in real time to myself or the visitor center staff. So during business hours, you can call us or you can connect with us via this live chat. What it's also done, which has been great, is provided another way to sort of gauge the interest and engagement of some of the marketing campaigns and ads that we're running. A quick example is when we tackled the summer season, we were very focused on stargazing and astronomy. And once all of those campaigns launched, within the days and weeks that followed, every day we had people writing to us via the live chat who were saying, great, coming to see the stars, I'll be here next weekend. And it's great because it opens up dialogue and we're able to really help people plan their visit here, answer their questions, and of course sort of pique their interest in other things to see and do. So. In this report, we have broken down our campaign results by quarter. I think for the purpose of time today, we'll kind of just skip ahead to year to date. But just a quick mention here, what you will see from the beginning of our year to where we are now is that we have been layering on additional programs. So we started the year focusing on paid search and social media. And as we move through our year, we're layering on digital display, billboards, and some other great things you'll hear about there. Just maybe pause there for a second. So what's been very encouraging to see is we have over this past year increased the total number of site users by 23%. We've increased page views and increased sessions, and more notably, the outbound link clicks to our lodging partners have increased by 35%. So that's the number of people that are going to visit 29.org, discovering all of the lodging options that we have, and clicking on the book direct links. So again, that's a 35% increase over the year, which is great. As we mentioned in the strategic goals, we were very focused on key markets within California. We saw a 52% increase in site users from LA, 40% increase in site users from San Diego, 62% increase of users from San Francisco. Also, we saw some great growth from Arizona and Nevada. Site users from Arizona increased by 29% and from Nevada 33%. Here, I'll just sort of scoot ahead here, kind of year-end summary. So we invest in paid search campaigns with Google, and this provides us a tremendous opportunity to improve our site ranking and make sure that people who are online searching for anything related to travel and our destination, that our site is coming up. We have worked really hard this year at this particular type of campaign. We started at a very modest sort of $200 a month budget and have increased that now to $1,000 a month. So year to date, that type of paid search campaign has generated over 14,000 clicks to our website, which is a 61% increase from last year. When we look at our social media efforts, so you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and very soon on TikTok. We have increased our following by 15% and our total overall reach by 238% over the course of the year. Another key campaign that we've been running are digital display ads. So these go out across the Google Display Network, which includes over 2 million different websites. We launched digital display in June 1st, and since then those campaigns have generated over 7,000 clicks, which is a pretty incredible 490% increase on what digital display campaigns did for us in the previous year. We're very excited to have added 2 new programs in the spring. We have launched 2 different billboard campaigns. They launched in April, one on the I-10 and the other at the Palm Springs International Airport. This airport placement is very important for us. They've seen tremendous growth. They've set new records over the summer and have a huge variety of new daily nonstop flights that are scheduled to start this fall. We have had a really good time in that place for the last couple of months and have negotiated a great deal to extend that through this next year. Our billboard that's down on the I-10 has generated over 3 million impressions to date. Certainly generated a lot of buzz. And the beauty with working in the digital billboard format is that you can change creative out weekly, daily, and so we have been running a daytime ad and nighttime ad just to sort of change it up. Also new for us towards the second half of our year has been the development of a new branded video series. So to date, we have 2 very beautiful short 1-minute videos that you'll find on our YouTube page and across our social media channels. Those videos have seen 19,000 views so far. We do run them through paid ads as well. And as anticipated, they're very helpful in reaching younger demographics. So the beauty of all of the digital marketing work that we do is that there's really great reporting and results that you can measure and track. So it's been great to see us reach a younger audience with the video content that we're doing. So when you combine all of the programs and campaigns that we've run so far this year, in total we've generated 4.8 million impressions over the course of the year. So what does that do for local businesses? Next, we'll look at our revenue results. So on this chart here, just for comparison purposes, in the darker brown color, you're seeing our results from last year. You'll see the steep decline when the first stay-at-home order went into effect and essentially everything came to a halt here. Starting last summer, we began to see those new trends emerge and understand that we were very well positioned to respond to the changing travel consumer trends. And we have been on an upward path ever since. So when we look at our first quarter results for this year, they totaled just a little over 61,000. So that was a 6% increase versus last year. When we look at our second quarter, January through March, total revenue came in just a little over 73,000. That was a 64% increase versus last year. And when we look at our third quarter results, we've generated over $81,000, which is 147% up from last year. The numbers that we've achieved this year, again, are record-breaking. We have essentially had the best year that we've had. And it's just notable to mention, when we look at that April through June, this past quarter, our hotels brought in or generated over $55,000. That is 5% above 2019 pre-pandemic levels and is the second best quarter recorded since we established the TBID back in 2017. You do see a breakdown here of our budget for this current year and how we're spending that by category. And then just a couple kind of quick notes as we look ahead to next year. Again, we're very focused on supporting safe travel to our city. We will continue to work towards promoting those 5 destination pillars. While we don't anticipate our international visitors will return, we are confident that the domestic interest and demand will remain steady. But as we anticipate lodging inventory in the region and the area will continue to grow, we will anticipate increased competition, which just makes our work even more important. We are, like everybody, I'm sure, very excited about Project Phoenix, specifically the Community Center and the National Park Visitor Center. We're very excited about new opportunities to host events in this Community Center. Very excited about the National Parks Visitor and Cultural Center, which will be a very different experience from visiting the other park visitor centers and thus bring more of the national park traffic to our city here. We have, for those individual businesses who are looking for more direct support from us, we have established our own partner program. We're thrilled to have Harmony Motel, High Desert Daydream, Sure Stay, and White Label Vinyl currently in the program, and the links there, you can learn more about it for those interested. So that is kind of a rushed, yes, review of our annual reports.
Well, thank you, Brianna. And also, I don't know, Board Chair, if you would like to make any comments, or any members of the board.
Thank you, Frank. I'm Rakesh Mehta. I'm the chairperson for the T-bid, and I would like to speak on behalf of the T-bid, and then I would also talk on behalf as a business owner in town. In reference to Councilmember Bilrand, the deficit that you mentioned, I'm very proud to say that the T-bid, even though we had a huge dip in our first quarter of 2020 when the stay-at-home order came in, the results that you're seeing, I can proudly say that those results were accomplished without going in the red. We had a very healthy reserve to start off. We did not have to tap into it. We were anticipating that we might have to, but we didn't. And we accomplished the numbers that you're seeing single-handedly. Compliments to Brianne with very limited resources. She took the guidance from the board and literally single-handedly she accomplished all those goals. We had outside resources before. Because of the pandemic, we cut down and we slimmed down our budget. We stayed within our budget and we were able to accomplish number of results. I have to say that the local businesses have supported the T-bid in this process. And the board, thank you, all of you, for being there and guiding Brianne and guiding this T-bid to accomplish the results that we have accomplished. Prior to the T-bid, we didn't have a dedicated person or a dedicated representative that promoted tourism in City of 29 Palms. And I'm proud to say that with Brianne's support and city support and the board, we've accomplished great results. So I request the council to, vote in favor for the next year. And as a business owner, I can say that, like Brianne alluded to, that the third quarter that we just concluded was a record quarter, even though our international borders are closed, even though we're not getting that many tourists. We've had great impact through the base and our local tourism that has gone up. So again, I want to commend Brianne for that, and I'll be open for any questions that you have related to the T-bid.
Any questions for Brianne or Rish? Yes.
I just have a statement. We flew home to Texas this past summer, and when I was in Palm Springs Airport, seeing that advertising for 29 Palms, it was nicely done. And one other thing, I have a niece that's in the Army, and she was stationed over in Europe, and she was telling me how her friends were discussing Joshua Tree National Park and wanted to know, okay, what cities are nearby and how can they get there? And these are people that are over in Europe, young people they're wanting to come to 29 Palms area. So, great job.
Okay. Any other questions for the staff? Seeing none? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brianne. Okay, we'll open it to the public. Do you have any comments from the public? Okay. Vito, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Brianna. I think Brianna does a great job. She's a better presenter than me, selling hope. Everybody knows that I own hotels, and I wouldn't stand here and be critical if I was seeing the benefits of it. We have over 600 rooms, which Brianna did mention. We had 3 hotels closed down, and our T-bid, our TOT collections from the hotels was down. The last time staff made a presentation, I stood in front of this council and said, think twice before you pass it. And the city manager, remodelled me. I met with 2 of the councilmen that is here today, and one of them did admit, numbers don't lie. Our hotels, after having 3 hotels closed, is running at less than a 50% occupancy. We are blessed in the city that we have Joshua Tree National Park. Joshua Tree National Park is the 10 most visited parks in the state of California. It's 3 hours away from Los Angeles, 2.5 hours away from San Diego and Orange County. I've got friends who got hotels in other cities where the Sparks, the T-Bid have done a great job. I have hotels in other cities that have T-Bid. I don't go and stand in front of the city council saying, check this, check that. I think we have a lot of people that sit on the T-Bid that lack industry knowledge and trends. If the director of the T-Bid is open enough, can he share with the public what his occupancy is running to date? The amount of money that we are leaving and we're not tapping in the right direction. I just heard Councilwoman Kamala talk about the billboard at Palm Springs. How many of us land at a place and say, okay, I'm going to visit this place? I plan my vacation. You got to know where your market is coming from and place your billboards there. I've met with the district city manager and I've shared that with him. He says, it's a great point. Great point. I don't know whether he just listens to me or want to hear me and not make a note of it or what. I mean, I'm for positive results. What I would suggest is take some time, hire some consultants from outside, revisit it, revisit those numbers. Last week, in the Labor Day weekend, we had a horrible occupancy. I called up Brianna. She goes, have you seen everything that we're doing? You claiming credit for Joshua Tree. We need to brand our city, not piggyback of Joshua Tree, Pappy and Harriet's, places like that. So we really need to revisit this thing. I'm for the T-Bid, but we need to restructure this
Okay,
thing.
thank you.
And make sure we have positive results. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, that's the only slip that I have. Anybody else want to make a comment before we bring it back? Anybody? Come on up.
Thank you, Councilman, for allowing me to give my comments today. I am on the advisory board and I'm the vice chair. The T-Bid is crucial to the tourism of 29 Palms. The key feature of the T-Bid right now is branding 29 Palms. By all means, last week, if you follow the guidance of what Brianne sent, if hoteliers do, then they would be winning. She sent us, together with the partnership of the Dark Night Skies, vouchers that we could use to promote our businesses and promote this particular function. There was only one hotel that used it, and that was my hotel. And I was almost 100% occupied with people that came for this function. With the last speaker's comment regarding people that land in Palm Springs and they haven't planned their vacation, I have people from Missouri right now at my hotel, and they would ask me, which places do you think we should visit? We're here for 5 nights. And I would tell them, Palm Springs is only an hour away. And that works vice versa when people land in Palm Springs as well and go for a vacation there. Marketing is extensive, and it takes a great deal of time and energy to get what you want from marketing. And I think the T-Bid has proven itself in the numbers, if you compare all the years, what we've done and what we have accomplished thus far, even in a pandemic. I don't advise any consultant to be looking into what we are doing. We have a beautiful marketing plan that we had interviewed consultants that read our plan and told us it was a remarkable plan that we had when we first started out this process. So we leave it to you, and we hope that we can continue this progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, close the public hearing and bring it back to council. Any discussion?
I think the T-Bid is doing a really good job. I do love the billboard in Palm Springs because I have a different thing. If I'm going to be coming to Palm Springs, I'm going to be close to 29 Palms. So if I get off a plane and I see this, I say, where's 29 Palms? I think I'm going to go take a look at that place. It looks inviting. But if I step off a plane in Palm Springs and I see a billboard for Denver, that's way behind me. I'm not going to go back to Denver. It's close by to where we live. So it's a good thing to have something that close and on the I-10 as well, to let people know that we are here and to come visit us. So I applaud you for that. It's really smart thinking.
Well, obviously, the numbers are coming up every time you come now. I'm just wondering what you're going to do in the next couple of years when you say we're increasing on some of these numbers 140%. I don't know how you're going to improve on those, but it's, the numbers are actually doing well. So I do applaud you for that. We get the new visitor center. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a whole new ballgame too. Okay. Any other discussion? Waiting for motion?
Number? I make a motion that City Council adopt resolution number 2116, confirming the intention to levy an assessment for the fiscal year 2021-22 and approve the annual report, marketing plan, and budget.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Klink,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Bilderrain. Aye. Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy,
Aye.
Mayor Mintz.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here for that discussion. Now, Mayor Pro Tem, I get to step out of the room so you can do number 16.
All righty. Okay, and the next item on the docket is renaming of Yucca Avenue and naming a plaza within Project Phoenix, and I will turn it over to our city manager.
Well, thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Clark, Community Development Director, to give the presentation.
Thank you. So this is a little bit of deja vu, I guess. Of course, we've been here before. City Council asked staff to move forward with naming a naming contest for a section of Yucca Avenue between 29 Palms Highway and Cactus Drive, and also a name for the new plaza that will be constructed on the southeast corner there of the highway. A previous contest ran from December 4th, 2018 to January 4th, 2019. We had a lot of submissions. At the time, the subcommittee reviewed the names and recommended Gateway Avenue to the full council. The name, however, was not accepted as from the full council. However, one of the suggestions was for the Paseo. One of the names offered was Paseo de Mara, and so that name has been adopted for the Paseo, and actually some of our utility boxes will have that address, as that was adopted by council. So we had the contest again this past summer. Results, the rules were very similar to the first contest. This council Project Phoenix subcommittee, Councilmember Klink and Councilmember Wright reviewed the submissions. It was a blind judging, didn't know who submitted the names, and came up with a new set of recommendations. For Yucca Avenue, the subcommittee is recommending the new name of Freedom Way. We're a patriotic town, it's kind of symbolic of that. And then as a second choice, the subcommittee recommended Welcome Way. And then for the new plaza within Project Phoenix, the subcommittee is recommending Freedom Plaza as their top choice, and a second choice of the subcommittee recommending Gold Park Plaza. So that's the recommendations from the subcommittee. You could probably answer your own questions if you have any, but I'll be happy to answer any if I can.
I'll go ahead and start. We did receive an email. I won't say any names, but the person was not in favor of Freedom Way and Freedom Plaza at all, to the fact where why would we be freedom here? We do have the world's largest Marine Corps base. We also have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Marine sailors, Army, Air Force, international military men and women that go out there and train every single year to keep our freedom where we are today, where we can talk about it. We can discuss this. And I myself, we have all the different kinds of plants and desert life and everything named on these streets, and I just thought middle of downtown why not put a little spin on it and put freedom in there? Because we are living in freedom here in 29 Palms. With the way that things are going in this world, we just want to keep that freedom alive, and what a way to show our freedom than to name the downtown Freedom Plaza and Freedom Way.
Ditto.
I agree, and especially in light of what happened recently over in Afghanistan. And we all know, especially those who are affiliated with the military, that freedom comes at a very high cost. And why not honor our servicemen and women in such a way? Any comments from the public?
I think it's a great idea. Only in favor.
Okay, Claude? Any comments from the council? Then, am I looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend that the Yucca Avenue, the small, south of 29 Palms Highway to Cactus be named Freedom Way, and that Project Phoenix be named Freedom Plaza.
Second.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Bilderrain?
Aye.
Councilmember Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Mintz abstains. Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy?
Aye.
Before 0-1.
And Mayor Pro Tem, I just wanted to mention the citizen that submitted that recommendation. Her name is Melissa Silva. And so there's a little prize money going to her as well.
All right, awesome.
Frank, before I forget, the staff's microphones, you can't hear them very well out there. The dais, you can really hear them, but out there in the speakers, you can't hear them very well. So I don't know what there's a wire problem or something. You might want to have Eli look at it. No, you can tell. Captain Niles, he even mentioned it to me. He's like, when staff talks, it's less than what in the dais. So I don't know if there's a volume thing down here or whatever it is.
There is, yeah, we'll work on it.
Okay. Didn't mean to bring it up during the meeting, but I'll forget. Okay, number 17, Lucky Park Pool Rehabilitation.
And I'll use my deeper, louder voice there.
Well, he's the only one out there now,
Hear me
so.
out there. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The item in front of you this evening, the recommendation is to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Holt Architecture for the design of the Lucky Park Pool rehabilitation, not to exceed $275,306. Just by way of background, so as the count, 306?
276.
Oh, 276, 306. I must have said something different, but I apologize about that. So 276, 306. Got to get the better glasses, I guess. Just by way of background, as the council will recall back in January, at the strategic planning session, the pool was identified as a need for our community. At that time, when we discussed it, the staff in a swag approach to it, a scientific wild guess, I won't say the A, I guess, we thought it was going to be about $500,000. That was our thought during that time. Through the process, once this was identified as a strategic priority, staff started researching and looking at it, and just some more way of background. And Ms. Minitry is in the audience. If there were some additional questions on it, she did some good work. And I think it's even further than this. I think the pool was built in the 50s before the 50s, a long time ago. She went to the historical, the old schoolhouse and got some archives there. So the pool is very old. And so through the years, and I know Mr. Cole's in the audience too, so he knows through the years of the Band-Aids that we kept on putting on our pool. One of the things that We continually did minor upgrades, and the reason that we can only do minor upgrades is if we did major upgrades, it would trigger some public health upgrades that we just didn't really have the ability to do that. A lot of the piping, the plumbing is underneath of the pool, so that in itself was a little difficult. So, and fortunately this year with the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, affectionately known as, the city is receiving $6.2 million from that federal plan. And as part of it, you know, it's COVID-centric, but one of the guidance that has come out, and it's obviously continually to evolve, was our parks in America during COVID were being overrun. A lot of people wanted to be outside. We're going to our parks for some freedom, if you will, no pun intended. And so our pool, no different from that, and there was definitely a need for the upgrade as identified in the strategic plan. So we do have the resources, you know, within ARPA to be able to do that. Holt Architecture is our architect that has designed Project Phoenix very well, I may add, and they've been a good partner with the city. So we engaged with Holt Architecture to propose the pool upgrades, and part of the scope there is to replace the existing pool, same size, but the existing pool, demo the old pool. Obviously, you got to do that before you build a new pool, but we have to demo the pool. And as discussed at our strategic planning session, through the years, you know, there's a pool inside of a pool. There were some other issues that Kevin probably remembers. I know Terry's research, you know, retired community development director, community services director, Randy Council, also involved, trying to, you know, make do, you know, with our limited resources in our community. So that's a very extensive demo that we have to do. Along with that, all the ADA improvements that are associated with the upgraded pool, primarily in the locker room to have hot water showers, some public health related issues with the circulation, and all the plumbing, pool equipment that needs to be upgraded as well, along with site improvements. So all totaled, from a construction estimate perspective, it's going to be $2.3 million from a construction estimate perspective, but we're still at 20,000 feet, you know, so that's why the design team needs to come in to kind of look at it with a pool architect to kind of work through that process. So staff is here again making this recommendation, and again, as mentioned, Ms. Minitry is in the audience if the council has any additional questions.
Well, I'm actually curious when the pool was built now. Since you researched it, I want to know.
Well, let me refer to my notes. Okay, so I was actually floored to find out that the history of the Lucky Park pool dates back as far as 1932. Okay. So forms were poured for the original pool starting in 1929 by community members. And apparently I found out some information that Dr. Lucky donated the funds to be able to build the pool, but the community came together and actually built the first original pool. The American Legion had acquired quite a bit of land and donated the land that was acquired between 1938 and 1980 to the Recreation District, which included the swimming pool, which was then donated prior to Dr. Lucky. It's really, really old. I wish I had some pictures to show you guys. I sent some to Frank where you can actually see just open desert and these really, really old trucks with just a whole bunch of people. The pool was huge. Part of the baby pool was the original swimming pool that was put in 1932. So Miss Liz Meyer gave us some information because there was some informational gaps that we didn't have that we couldn't find. She had mentioned that the baby pool was a part of the original pool that was built way back when. And when the pool bond, or the bond approving the Olympic-sized swimming pool was approved, they filled in which we would call now the baby pool, and made that shallow. And then they separated the two. So the baby pool was the original swimming pool. It used to be deep at one end where they had the high dive and the diving board, and shallow at the other. So the history I was floored that it went back that far. I thought the 50s, because that's what I knew just from the clippings and things that we had in our office. But going to the Historical Society, found out a whole bunch of more information. And Frank, he does have those pictures. He could probably email them to you just if you want to take a look at them as well. It's fascinating to know that it dates back that far. So, and it's been modified over the years, to what
Yes,
it is
and
now.
it's time to update it.
Yeah, for sure. Any other questions?
Any other questions for it?
There was a picture going around on Facebook that I received that had the pool in 1955. It's the way it is now.
Yes.
However, to the south, where those
Yep.
athol trees were, there was a big building there that I think housed the groundskeepers that took care of the park. And it was kind of interesting to know that that's what that was.
Yeah. And just another fascinating note that I shared with Joel earlier that I learned as well is the 29 Palms Recreation District was the first and largest in California. Learned that information as well. Wish I had known that information when we applied for the grant. Might have helped us a little bit, even though we still don't know the outcome of that. But yeah, it's fascinating information.
Well,
The oldest and largest recreation district in the state of California.
I did not know that.
At the time.
I sat on that before we came into the city, I sat on that for a long time, and I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for the history lesson.
Yeah, no problem.
All
Happy
right.
to share.
Also, was it true that Larry Bowden was the first lifeguard?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I hope he's listening right now.
Does that include, are we going to do both pools, or is it just the big one?
It's just the big one based on the scope. Yeah, there is, I think there's going to be some refinishing around the perimeter.
Of the
but
small one?
pool itself, yeah. not-
What about the piping, though? That's going to be replaced to the
The
little pool
piping
also?
is going to be replaced. The
Okay.
piping, a lot of the piping is under the big pool, the main pool.
Right.
So that's,
But the little pool is going to get new pipe also?
yeah, it's going to it.
To it,
Yeah, but
okay.
it's not underneath of it.
Yeah.
so.
So the current standards for the baby pool are good. It's the issues that we have mostly are with the large pool because everything is just so old and we don't really know what's there. According to the recirculation equipment and plumbing, we're deficient in a lot of areas. We're grandfathered in due to the age of the pool, but we need to make some upgrades. They're way overdue, way overdue.
And do we have any idea how long a process like this would take?
Well, so after today, we're gonna start with the design of it. We will work with our swimming partners because we believe it's gonna impact a swimming season. It will, because it will, it's not gonna be a quick process. We don't think it'll be multiple years of impacting swim season, but it definitely it'll affect at least one. So we're gonna plan it, work with the council on the best optimal time after we get done with the design. One thing I failed to mention, our remote person, Eli, who's managing the meeting, helping us with this project, a new mechanical room as well. So we'll be updating that mechanical room as well, ancillary to the pool, but nonetheless supporting of the pool.
Okay. Any other question for staff? Okay, you have a question? No, I'm talking about up here. You guys we got public comments.
In fact, do you know if the pool happens to comply with Virginia Big Act and?
Yes.
Actually, we're talking about the baby pool. I'm more concerned that also complies with the Virginia Big Act, and I think the council should up the money one time to upgrade that as well. And also the grounding issues, from what you're saying, when the pool is built, I'm actually wondering if all those will be taken care in this.
Yes, so we actually have a guide that's provided to us, Public Pool or Spa Construction Guide by the County of San Bernardino Environmental Health Services that we have to follow, and we are in compliance with the Virginia grant, yes.
Okay. Okay, wait, can you wait till the public comment? Okay, thanks. Okay,
All right,
I'll open the public comment.
okay, thank you.
Anybody like to speak about this in the public? Go ahead, come on up. No, go ahead. She'll answer from back there if she needs to.
I just have Anna O'Hare, 29 Palms. I didn't fill out the comment with regard to the pool, but I do have a question. How long is this pool going to take? Is all the construction going to go into the next summer? I spent my first, how would you say, my first summer at the pool in all the time I've been here, and it was very nice. We really enjoyed it. So we hope it'll all be finished by next summer. We do too. I know you do. I hope you do. And the other thing, just to make everybody aware of, is that the staff that's managing the lifeguards, they're all great, they're all excellent, but a lot of them are going to go away. And it's hard to get lifeguards anywhere. So that's another big issue. Plus, we also wish that the general public could be admitted in the morning. I know we're always in the afternoon, but we'd really like to kind of be there all day. And I don't know how we can do that, but that's just my wish. I'm just voicing what everybody gripes about. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to comment? Kevin, come on up.
I just want to say a couple things, having been a person that's taken care of that pool for many years. It is aging, and there's a great need to overhaul it. Like Frank mentioned, for many years, we put Band-Aids on it to get it by. One of the reasons that we did that is because I don't know if it's able to be quantified how many of our local kids have learned to swim in that pool, and swim safety is a big issue, and it's one of our biggest programs that we do at the Park and Rec and during the summertime is our swim instruction. Carrie does a great job of organizing that program, and we have had thousands of kids over the years learn to swim in that pool. It's a vital necessity for our community, so I think this is a great opportunity if we can to fix it so that we can continue to offer swim safety in the community. So I'm all for it.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, close the public hearing and come back to council. Any other discussion? Motions?
I'll make a motion that City Council authorizes the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Holt Architecture for the design of the Lucky Park Pool rehabilitation not to exceed $276,306.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Buildering?
Aye.
Councilmember Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy?
Aye.
Mayor Mitz?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Okay, well, the process has started for our new pool. Okay, number 18, LAFCO Special Service Review.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The item in front of you this evening is to approve the resolution that requests a special service review of the 29 Palms community. That includes the city of 29 Palms, the 29 Palms Water District, and the 29 Palms Public Cemetery District. Just by way of background, the city is always looking to reviewing options of creating resources for our community. It's good government. The traditional way that we always look at of creating resources in our community is the traditional approach, raising taxes, fees, rates. However, there's another way of looking at ways to increase resources, and that is first looking at this special service review. LAFCO, their responsibility is for coordinating logical and timely changes in local government and special districts. They conduct special studies that reviews ways to reorganize, simplify, and streamline government structure, and to prepare a sphere of influence for each city and special district within the county. So this resolution is only, and I'll underscore only, asking for a special service review to make this analysis for potential streamlining government structure and reduce redundancies. The goals which are in the staff report, some of which are to improve the financial mechanism of the agency that provides service, provide services effectively and efficiently within the funding level, provide a standardized level of service and training that meets regulatory standards, improve the management efficiency of the agencies, and eliminate redundant tasks, services, and equipment. Staff believes that there are enough savings for this review, but maybe not, which is why we're asking LAFCO to review. They are an independent body. And that body, just so the council is aware, it's a seven-member body, 2 members of the Board of Supervisors, San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, 2 members of cities, mayors within San Bernardino County, 2 members of special districts that sit on the LAFCO board, so water districts, park districts, cemetery districts, the like, too. Then 1 member at large. And we are fortunate enough to have that member at large to be a member of our own community in 29 Palms. So that 7th member of LAFCO actually lives in 29 Palms. So again, that's the body that would review that. And this is not the end. Once the special review is complete, the resolution is asking for a formation of a local stakeholder group that will review the document for potential next steps or nothing. So potential next steps or nothing. It all depends on what comes out of the analysis. This is a good government approach to look at delivering efficient and effective government. The LAFCO board kind of gave me a timing here, just so the council is aware. So the timing would begin November 17th. So the LAFCO board next meeting is November 17th, which they will request, depending on the outcome of today, that process from their board. And that process will begin, and they anticipate having issue a service review in January, February for initial draft. Then they publish the service on March 10th, and then final March 16th. So, we're in September now, so it's a good half of a year before it ultimately gets complete. So that, I think, addresses all the topics that I have. We have members of the 29 Palms Water District and also the 29 Palms Cemetery District as well. So that concludes my update, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions for staff before we go on? No? Okay. Okay, Anna O'Hara, did you want to speak on this? Or is this on the other one? No, it is on number 18, go ahead.
Anna O'Hare, 29 Palms. Just some comments on the issue of bureaucracy. And America, like all other nations, has too much of it. And it gets to a point where you cannot find who to talk to get an issue dealt with. When you combine agencies, and that's a consideration apparently that's coming up with regard to the water board becoming integrated with the city, I don't want it, period. I like the water board the way it is. I have had instances where I've had to call them in the middle of the night for something, and they are right there. They're a 24-hour operation, just like the fire department and the ambulance. It's very difficult to deal with the bureaucracy and have them right on the dime, and I've had that. There is a cost involved in that, and that is that the city members may feel that the employees are making too much money and they want to cut a few employees out and streamline the process. It will not work. It's a case of penny wise and pound foolish. Certain employees, if they lose their jobs or go somewhere else, you're going to have to retrain new people or train the existing people to take on more work, and it's going to be a nightmare. I really feel strongly about the fact that we need to have less bureaucracy, and we create that by having the water district, the cemetery, and other things all working within the system, but we can individually approach them. A reminder to all of you that unlike other parts of the city, the water district is open 5 days a week. This city office here is not open 5 days a week. You have extended hours, but you are not open 5 days a week. And I have heard complaints from people about why, I've got to wait for my building permit or whatever, because they're only open 4 days a week. It's a very frustrating thing. Very convenient for the workers, the extended hours, but it is not effective. And I don't want this department, the water district, to be taken over by the city. I think we have to leave them to manage
Thank you,
and do
Anna.
a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Ray, you're up.
Well, I'm pleased to know that your item number 18 was quicker than I thought it would be tonight, so thank you for that. Good evening, Mayor Mintz, council members, and members of the community. For those who you do not know me, my name is Ray Kolish. I'm the general manager of the 29 Palms Water District. I'm a 1985 graduate of 29 Palms High School, which now reveals my age to everybody. And I have worked for the ratepayers of the district for 29 years. I am here tonight to comment on the agenda item requesting a LAFCO service review. The 29 Palms Water District has been providing safe, affordable, and reliable water to the community since 1954, for many years before city incorporation. The Water District is considered a special district, governed by 5 board of directors elected by the ratepayers. Special districts are California's unique contribution to local government and allow agencies to focus only on the service that is being provided. In the case of 29 Palms Water District, it's providing potable water to the city of 29 Palms and the unincorporated areas of San Bernardino County encompassing 87 square miles. The premise of tonight's agenda item is to identify redundancies that, if eliminated through consolidation, would benefit the community to save money. You intend to do this through a resolution requesting a service review from LAFCO. Since the last service review some years ago, which found that the city did not meet basic criteria warranting a consolidation with the water district, nothing has changed since then. Yet over the next several months, we will hear terms like benefit the community, good governance, and elimination of redundancies. For the reasoning behind consolidation and efforts to justify consolidation now. The 29 Palms Water District has been operating efficiently to save our ratepayers money for many years, which has resulted in the lowest water rates in the Morongo Basin. The district is recognized by the state as a leader serving disadvantaged communities, which 29 Palms is. We are globally recognized for our innovative water treatment techniques and fluoride and arsenic removal. You will also hear terms such as, we are not saying we can do it better, but just want to have the water district under the city's control umbrella to save money. The district is, and always has been, about saving money for our ratepayers. There are ways to save the community money by collaboration like is being done currently without warranting consolidation. The city of 29 Palms is a contract city. The services like police protection, fire protection, and even the recent wastewater collection system associated with Project Phoenix are contracted out and not provided by the city. The city has no experience with managing and operating a utility, but desires to take control of the water district. The city has stated on many occasions how well we operate and provide water to the community, so what is the real intent of consolidation? It was a long time ago someone told me the art of government is to get someone or something to pay for your projects. If consolidation of the water district takes place, does the city intend to sell off the water system to a privately owned water utility? This is a scenario that other cities have done throughout California to help fund city projects and can certainly take place in this community. With all that being said, I caution the citizens of this community that if consolidation of the water district takes place, water rates and services provided will be in jeopardy. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to future conversations about this.
Thank you. I did extend that because of, obviously, Ray is the
Thank you.
manager, and I wanted his whole statement to be in the record, so. No, I know you did. I'd say, I just thought it was, so those of you, some of you I've cut off sometimes, I just want to say, sometimes the message needs to be finished, so. Okay, Natalie.
Thank you, Mayor Mintz and members of the council. My name is Natalie Zook. I am a resident of District 1 here in 29 Palms. I don't really, advocate in favor or against LAFCO doing a review of the consolidation of these special districts, but I just want to remind the council and the public, what tends to happen in 29 Palms when LAFCO, takes over these districts, with the fire department, for example. When we got rid of our fire department, all those firefighters conveniently were served, all the firefighters, which used to be ran by the water board, are now members of the water board, if I'm not mistaken. I find that a little bit interesting. Also, you say that LAFCO is a nonpartisan organization, but a quick Google search of the members shows that it's not really as nonpartisan as you think it is. And I work in politics. I don't really believe in nonpartisanship. Just be careful with how you guys do this. Be more careful than how you did the fire department, please. They're already raising our water rates. I believe they're raising them like about 200% over the next 4 years, something like that. I got a notice showing the rates that are going up. And the water out here, let's remember, water is our most precious resource here in the desert. And the water here in 29 Palms isn't that good. It's polluted with hexavalent chromium. We have a massive fluoride problem too. My water bill, it comes with a notice that says the water should not be consumed by children under the age of 12. Isn't that weird? I'm concerned about that. So if the city council is to take over the water district, I hope you guys are prepared to handle things like this. I know Ray has been the general manager for a number of years now. So if you guys are ready to handle water in the desert, go for it. And keep in mind residents of Desert Heights too. I think you guys are probably gonna have to annex Desert Heights in order to take over the water district. But there's about 700 residents there, and some of them moved out of the city to get out of the city and move into the county because they didn't want the property taxes, they didn't want the regulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Could we clarify that our rates didn't go up 200%, right, Ray? Yeah, please. I would just like that clarified because this is being streamed live.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to answer that. Back in January of this year, the Board of Directors approved the 5-year rate increase. It's 10% for 5 years, so 50% over the next 5 years. But keep in mind, even after the 50% or the years, we still will be cheaper in our water than any water agency that it currently is. So I think that's really important. Their rates are only going to go up.
Wow.
Ours are going to be still lower than anybody right now, even after the 50%. And I would also like to comment that our water is not polluted. We meet all state water standards. We do have an abundance of naturally occurring fluoride, naturally occurring arsenic, and hexavalent chrome 6, which has no standard in the state of California currently. So I just want to make that clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Natalie, I wasn't trying to, I just want to make sure, because this is being live streamed, sometimes I just like to have, if we can get the facts right away, I just like to do that. So I appreciate your patience with that. Okay, anybody else in the audience? Okay, all right. Well, seeing none, we'll bring it back to council. Anybody have more questions for staff or comments? The only comment I'm going to make is that, this is step one of 5,000 that would even be considered. This is not tonight's vote for this resolution to do this is not a vote for LAFCO to take over anything, because LAFCO doesn't, they just do an analysis is all they do. And then, like I say, the next step that we even put in this was that the fact that a citizen committee would have to get together and see if it was even feasible, because there's a lot of, we met with the cemetery folks, and the boundaries for them is huge, and those have to be addressed, the boundaries for the water district. So this is not, just because tonight if we vote for this resolution doesn't mean this is a consolidation of anything. I just want to make that clear to the public tonight and to the council. In my opinion, this is not a consolidation vote at all. So I guess that's my comments.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Mr. Mayor, because it's important to understand that it is not, I've told Frank, because I sit on that subcommittee, that yes, I'm interested in seeing if there's any type of savings, but as far as consolidation goes, that's something I think that the community definitely is going to be involved in, and decision I don't want to make, without community input or anything like that. And this is way from even that point. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
I'm more interested in what comes of it, just in our city, not so much cemetery and the water district. What can we do better? What are we redundant in? So that's my main focus, how we can be better after this little thing. And then everyone keeps using takeover. I've been getting emails, and you're trying to take over the water district? No one's trying to take over anything. If it does work out and the stars align and everyone agrees, it's going to be a partnership for the city, not a takeover. So that's where my stance is. I know everyone probably feels the same way, but I know people are up in arms. Takeover, when no one's taking over, it's just a see. But my interest is seeing what we can do in-house to be better and, take away some redundancy. And then hopefully the water district gets some lessons learned in cemetery and all learn something from this. And if we can work together, so be it. If not, at least we'll be better off after this, evaluation from LAFCO.
Well, just part of this process, talking with the cemetery folks, they didn't know, you live in the district, but if you move, you pay taxes there, but if you move out, if you're 15 miles out, you can't get buried here unless you pay an extra fee. It's really some strange rules out there with this part of some stuff that I had no clue, and I've lived here for 46 years, and I had no clue that was one of the rules. So.
Well, I was on the board for 10 years, and it's the people that live outside of the boundaries of the cemetery, true, that will that did pay extra fee to be buried because they didn't pay taxes for the city of 29 Palms or 29 Palms. Is that right?
It actually.
Go ahead and come on up. That way we can I'll open this back up, because I think it's very important that we hear this.
I'm Emily Helm. I'm the general manager of the 29 Palms Cemetery. And actually, the 15-mile rule states that you have to live within the parameters of the 15 miles. It has nothing to do with the city of 29 Palms. Mm-hmm. And it, as my understanding is that the private cemeteries lobbied harder in Sacramento than the public cemeteries did. So a private cemetery can just use their own land, and if they get a permit to make it a cemetery, then our 15 miles change. Part of our 15-mile structure right now is ridiculous because it encompasses not only training area out on the base, but it encompasses a lot of the Joshua Tree National Park. Nobody is able to live there, so I feel that is kind of ridiculous that that's even considered. But having said that, the rule is used to be we were the only game in town for a very long time, starting in 1934. So we had people from Morongo Valley, Landers, Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, Wonder Valley, all had family members. That was where they came to rest in our care. But now, if you don't live within these 15 miles, as long as you have a family member that is buried there, or you bought your site way back in the day, you can still come and come into our care at the cemetery, but you do have to pay a 15% per California Health and Safety Code, 15% non-resident fee. And so even though those people pay San Bernardino County property taxes, which I've never seen anything that says that we only take taxes just from these 15 miles, because again, there's nobody living on the training area. There's nobody living out in the park. So I can't get a straight answer of, are the people in Morongo Valley, do we take some of their taxes as part of the property tax, but yet they cannot come there unless they have a current family member there. So the rules and regulations are a little bit confusing, and we have tried to accommodate as best we can in order to bring revenue, because we are solely dependent for the most part on tax apportionments. We do bring some revenue in, but people are not burying their loved ones like they used to. They're cremating them, they're scattering them in the park, wherever, even though that's against the law, but I am not the scattering police, and so I do not lecture them when they come in and tell me what they're gonna do. But I will say that the trend is going towards cremains, and so we have a lot of spaces available at our cemetery. We have a very active board of trustees. We have gone through some challenges in the last couple of years, but LAFCO is getting ready to give us 5 gold stars tomorrow at their meeting. I feel confident about that. So as far as your review goes, they've already done our review, and it was based on issues prior to this ever coming up. So I feel like there are advantages for the city to work in conjunction with the cemetery, and I feel that my whole thing is all the work that we have done, I feel very strongly that it doesn't go down the toilet after we've worked really hard to get where we are. And in a situation where you are bringing your loved one into someone's care, whether it's our cemetery or wherever, it takes a certain finesse for people to handle that type of situation. It is not part and should never be part of a bureaucracy, so, or handled as such. So that's my only concern, is that we don't want to lose that personal touch that we have worked so hard to develop in the last couple of years here.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay, thank you, Emily. Ray, you wanted to, go ahead.
Yeah, just one quick comment, and I said this before publicly, but I welcome any member of the council, staff of the city, to come tour the water district. Understand what we do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's very operational based, and I think people at times take it for granted when they turn their faucet on, take a shower, what it takes to get that water to them. So again, I just want to offer that opportunity for any member of the council to, come see what we're about. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
If I can just say something about the water department.
Okay.
I've done quite a few projects in the town, and I was very, very happy with their services. Even when I had problems, when the time I called them, they're on the ball. I mean, so far I don't have any issues with their services. As far as the water prices are concerned, I do have hotels in other cities. I'm fairly happy with the pricing of the water. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, before I close this for the final time, anybody else? Okay, we'll bring this back to the council. Okay.
I just want to say, too, that we are not at all trying to go after anybody's jobs. You guys will always be the Twin Palms Water District, and you'll be the Twin Palms Cemetery. You'll have your own employees, and you'll do your normal everyday thing that you do. We are just wanting to get a review to see if there is any savings that we can have for the three of us. So I just want to see the review, and I'll take you up on that go tour the water district.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Just wanted to say, she said she got a lot of spaces out there. I ain't planning on going there.
Well, good, Mac. We don't want you to go anywhere either. Yes. Okay.
Pre-need.
Okay, well, Does anybody want to make a motion?
This 17?
18, I think.
Oh, 17.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I was thinking item.
I'll make a motion that City Council approve resolution number 2117, to request special service review of the 29 Palms community. That includes the city of 29 Palms, the 29 Palms Water District, and 29 Palms Public Cemetery District.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Klink,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Buildering,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy,
Aye.
Mayor Mintz.
Aye. Did you forget my name?
No.
Okay, future council initiated items. Does any-
I received a letter today. I'll kind of read it out loud here. It says, "Dear Joel, I live in the Chocolate Drop District in 29 Palms. We have a big problem with abandoned shopping carts. Quite frankly, it gives our neighborhood a ghetto appearance. My neighbors and I have called Stater Brothers and have been told they don't pick up carts anymore. I would like the city to write a letter asking Stater Brothers to pick up their abandoned carts. And I would like to have this put on the next agenda for us to discuss it further. Or maybe an ordinance for shopping center shopping carts."
Okay, all right. May I have a second on that? Okay, thank you.
Second.
Okay, any other items? Okay, hearing none. Okay, this is the public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that is not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There's a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out the name and address slips and give them to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action on or discussing items not included on a printed agenda. Public comments on specific items will be deferred until consideration on the turn of the agenda. Do we have one? Okay. Okay, Vino, you have public comment? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. In fact, I want to thank the staff for actually putting the low-cost housing, moderate income housing on the agenda. Housing is very close and dear to my heart, affordable housing especially. I hope that when you work with this developer, that he's not forced to put a sewer treatment plant, because that will throw the cost out a lot of the affordable housing. I was supposed to buy a house at Desert Knolls, but when I saw the HOAs based on the sewer treatment plant, it put me off. I've built 2 other projects that have the sewer treatment plant. It costs anything between $7,500 to $10,000 to go ahead and maintain this thing. And 20 units is very less, but at least is a start in the right direction. I'd like to see 200 affordable housing coming into our community. I deal every day with my staff. I deal with people that work at Stater Brothers and other small businesses that cry how they can't find affordable housing. Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, Travis, for going ahead and making this dream come true. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comments? Okay, seeing none. City manager update?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Just a couple things, and just to kind of piggyback off of Vino's comment. Yes, the city is in collaboration with the water district, kind of working towards that wastewater. And the housing, the magnitude of housing that we need, the impediment still is that wastewater treatment. Yes, we could build onesie and twosie houses infill, but anything of any magnitude requires the wastewater treatment plant. And many times that becomes that impediment to do it, which is why that centralized system is so important. Ultimately, as we continue to work the process, we got to make it affordable, which is the real key. But, to create housing, that's, those are one and the same. So thank you for that comment. A couple other things, one other that was brought up last meeting, Tamarisk, so the crosswalk at Tamarisk. You know, again, everything is blamed on COVID as far as supply chain issues, that being one of them. The mast arms are all custom made, you know, with any street lights. So that just is a reminder to the council that before, if you remember that flashing beacon there, it was just yellow. It was just warning, 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 warning. And now it'll actually, when you push it, it's a hybrid. When you push it, it'll actually go red, so you can walk across the street. So enhanced, but those arms are back ordered. They anticipate them being here by December, but they are back ordered.
So what did they do with our system that they just took it out of the ground, the one that we had?
Yeah, I guess the distance probably was different, and so they didn't reuse them. That was a Caltrans project, so I can't comment on that, but I can find out that. But I'm assuming that the distance had been off, which is why they had to get new arms. So Project Phoenix is, the council is all aware, just to kind of, you know, let the community know. I mean, we, good and bad. I know from the water district side, you know, no rain is a bad thing because it's not, you know, filling up our aquifers. From a construction perspective, though, however, it hasn't slowed our project down. I think we've had, and they've built in to the project, I forget how many days, I want to say 30 days of government delays and rain days, and we only use one. So needless to say, we're ahead of schedule. The anticipation is the project will be complete by December, and they'll turn it over to the city in January. So we're getting close. So what that is, and I know Mrs. Minitree's in the audience, and Travis is working on it, Eli and many others. Now we got to outfit the building. So we're working on buying the street furniture, getting the scoreboard, getting the bleachers, the computers, and et cetera, to now, you know, make it functional. And just as a reminder to the council, our two partners, Joshua Tree National Park being one of them, they're going to be a little slower. They, you know, a couple things. One is they're going to open, but they will open in March. You know, as we've always talked about, the Campbell collection coming in there, that's climate controlled display cases that they have to have, because right now it's all in a national park and climate controlled, and they got to bring it out in climate controlled so it doesn't decay. We're investing $2 million. The national park is investing $3.5 million, maybe $3.7 million, and that ranges a lot of money. But it's going to take some time for them to procure it and order it. So it will open. They're opening in March. It'll just have some low-tech display cases. The school district being the other partner that we have, they're going to be ordering the equipment, you know, for the kitchen. So they'll be going through that procurement side as well. You know, budgets are always tight, so we have a great layout of the kitchen, many different stations for our kids, our youth, our adults to learn how to culinary. But they have budget constraints as well. So hopefully they'll be able to outfit all those stations, but it may be in stages as well. With budget, sometimes you have to go through the years. So we're working through that now. It's really nice, and many of you have gone through this process from the infancy of this project, right? And now we're at the doorstep of completion. So it's, again, very, very exciting. Then finally, Citizen Serve. I know Mr. Clark today and every week going through a process of deploying. Our Citizen Serve is our enterprise system that we're going to be using, you know, to streamline our operation where people can, and partially due to COVID, right? So people don't have to come into City Hall, get their building permits, get their, you know, vacation home rental license, their business license, and, you know, planning documents. That will all be done online. And so we keep incrementally getting there. I think business, or not business licenses, but building and safety permits just launched last week, this week. And so now, you know, contractors don't have to come into City Hall. Again, partially due to COVID, but two, for efficiency. So that's exciting for progress.
We got our first online submittal today
Oh, right.
from the solar company.
So, like, I helped a friend do her business license, but then to pay for it, she had to come in or something like that?
Yeah, so it's clunky. Right now, that's the old system. So we haven't gone there yet for business license yet. And it's clunky, right? That's old school, where you have to come in, pay over the phone, do all those manual things. Ultimately, when we launch, hopefully very shortly, it'll all be seamless. You know, you'll apply, pay, all at one time. And that concludes my updates, Mr. Mayor.
Good. Any questions for Frank?
I still have a question on these stop-and-go lights and the turnings and when they're, I mean, when you come to a stop sign and you have people right here turning this way and you have nobody turning this way, they both turn and they're sitting for another minute. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was brought up last meeting as well. So Caltrans is aware of that, part of their synchronization after their project, and they have been gone from our city. So they said that is the final piece of the project of resynchronization of those streetlights.
So we wait till they're all done.
Well, I guess so, because I went to
Okay.
Yucca this morning, and I went to buy CMC.
Okay.
There was, all of us was waiting, and there was no cars even at the CMC, there was no reason for it to change, and it still made us wait. So, anyway,
So
yes,
hopefully
it's the whole highway.
I think they're on the overlay portion of it. I think all the ADA ramps are done, I think, and now they'll be on the overlay, so. During Morongo overlay, yeah, so, I mean, hopefully, I don't know if we have a schedule, but it's, I mean, I think they're getting close.
I hope so. Okay. All right, well, any more questions? Oh, I'd like to adjourn this meeting in honor of Gordon Brohammer.
Hopefully Scott got the right one. Pretty sure he did. Melissa's